Hi, everybody. Today I'm again joined by David and Gleb, and today's AMA session topic is Epoch 180 and the collateral. So, just before starting from the topic itself, I actually wanted to address some feedback that I just got from one of the oldest representatives of our community, and it's just fair to speak about the future because by design there is no roadmap. So it's always important to touch the base with the users and to speak about what yet to come and what they can expect. So I believe that that would be the one for David.
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. Um, Actually, hope to have this AMAs more often. I think that there are a lot of subjects which would be great to discuss with community. And first, I want to stress out this no roadmap state of this project. It's not like there is no, it can't be a roadmap, but the roadmap is set by the community. It's not set by us. It's not set by some authority. We all together should decide what is important for the future of this project and what is not. And because it's not just a blockchain, but it is a AI system, and we all know that AI evolve really fast. When we originally designed the protocol, we clearly saw that from the very first day, we need to have an upgrade system. And this upgrade system should be controlled by the community. It should be controlled through the vote of the community. Because this network should evolve, and all of us should expect that, and all of us should even like praise that, like because we all want this project to evolve together with the AI industry, which evolving every day. And from this perspective, if you wonder what is next, just join this conversation, start these conversations in Discord, and in what you would want to see in this project, and what you see as a great trends in AI currently, and let's make this conversation fruitful, and let's all of us to decide what is in the future. For me, I'm currently excited by several things. I really looking forward to switch all my personal activities with when I code in Cursor, or when I use agents to switch them completely to Gonka. I think that it would be really, like currently, for example, we all look at some recent open-weighted models like Kimi 2.5, which is like really great model. I think that it's great that open source, open weight models develop so much further, so that it's actually a no-brainer that you can choose to use such models in your day-to-day life for your agents. And knowing that it's much cheaper to use if it will be on Gonka, I think that this will be a really interesting journey to have when all of us step by step will stop using OpenAI or Claude, and completely switch. All of us will switch to Gonka as a source for intelligence. And then tell your friends and friends of friends and things like that, so that they join. I think that this is definitely an important milestone for all of us. At the same time, to power this, I think that for sure it is important that you all like experience and seeing this new POC, which is open up a lot of opportunities for the project, because it's based on the VVLM itself. So there is no switching between like POC model and the inference model. which will allow to do a lot of beautiful things over the network. And the next step there will be to, yes, it started right now with only one big model, Quen model. We all should admit, even though it's not like frontier model right now, but still it's in the charts of models around text or around coding. It's still like on the third or 30th or 40th place, which is really pretty good. But for sure, the next step will be to ensure that this POC version 2 allow us all to enable more models, especially the frontier models. Um, it was a pretty long process to be sure that we can enable the latest VVLM. It is right now worked by one of the contributors to the network code. They are currently testing this implementation of the latest VLM for the network. I hope that they will merge it soon, and then they will get their bounty for this great work, and this will also allow us to all have some of the latest open-weighted models released, and it will be really cool to have that in the network. Further from that, I think that we all during January, the big focus was to ensure that POC is also scalable. Many functions which are required for POC were step-by-step moved off-chain. Like payload was moved off-chain in November. In January POC, most of the POC operations were moved off-chain. I think that this work will continue to ensure that we do all of these operations off-chain, so that we are not dependent on the speed which chain can provide, only on security of the chain. And the same should happen with inference. We all experience right now that if the network gets a lot of requests at the same time, the chain start to be a limiting factor. Not the GPUs, not the inference, not the ML nodes, but the chain itself. But there is a quite clear path which we all should take to make this scalable to millions of users, which is step by step moving most of the operations, except the settlement of billing for developers off-chain, while ensuring that it's still secure, verifiable, immutable, and all of these great qualities of decentralized networks. So I think that this is kind of what I personally excited, but it is not necessarily like this project will move in the directions which excite the community rather than only excite some of us. So please be more vocal on what do you think should happen next. And we see the great progress, like when Bounty program, for example, was started a couple months ago. We received only really few of the submissions from the community. Now, we have like dozens and hundreds of them committed. So this community, we all should remember, it's really young project, and it's going through the stages when like more and more people are involved in this project. In this community is quite resourceful. Remember that, like the community pool, if you multiply it on the how coin is valued right now on the market and by miner is actually quite a great resource to have, which we can use to improve the network and improve the from many different perspectives. But what should happen with that, we need to see how first people inside of the community will grow their reputation among the community members, so that when they come with some proposals, they supported by miners, or what we also really want to see, where people with great reputation, which build some great projects outside the Gonka, they will come to our community and propose some services to the community, so that the community can grow and the project can grow and all of us can succeed with that. So I really hope that it will happen more and more, and that more miners will pay attention to the channels in Discord, which created for this type of discussions, like improvement proposal. Please take a look at them, and please discuss the proposals which are submitted there, because we all will benefit if these resources will be used in a wise way, and if we actually will invest in these resources in the directions of network improvements we all believe in.
Thank you, David. I believe that encompasses not only near future, and I hope that answers the feelings of some users, so we're able to actually jump to the topic of our session today. Well, despite the fact that we have a rather structured agenda, 3 main questions: implementation schedule, process breakdown, and the system necessity. As Gleb just mentioned some time ago, it's rather a philosophical discussion. So I wanted to ask you from where you would like to start.
Yeah, from collateral perspective, correct?
Yes.
So I would first start with where we are. I got a lot of messages about like whether people should be scared about the collateral, and which is coming, and the deadline is almost there. And last week I had the fever, that's why I was really bad in replying these messages. But what first we need to look at where we are in terms of collateral. And the first news is that currently nothing to worry about. And actually currently it's set in the way so that nothing would really change for most of the developers on this 180 epoch number 180. What I mean by that, that there are 2 sources of information about the collateral which you should look at. First was the tokenomics and descriptions of the tokenomics, which exists. Like you can look at the website of Gonka.ai, or you can look at this also in the GitHub in proposals around tokenomic version 2, which was implemented right before we switched to the mainnet. And this document, on one hand, describes where we want it to be. And there is this example which described here, which says that every H100 in the network will have to commit around like 100 JNK as the collateral. I will explain this logic a little bit further, but at the same time, I want first to walk you through of where we are, because this was a vision. But when the project just started, when Genesis was formed, and you all, like when you look at this, you all should know how to navigate this and how to find this information by yourself. So in the repository, you can find genesis file, which actually describe which parameters we picked in the very first days of the project. And if you look at the collateral, you can find this collateral per weight unit. What it means, like how much JNKs you need to submit per one unit. Like for example, right now H100 is around 290, 300 units of power. And in the very beginning, when we started this project, we set it really low. It's like it says like 42 with exponent -1, which means like 4, and this is nanogonkas. It's like it's 1 billions of gonka. So just 4 billions of gonka per weight unit. So it was. Sorry, I'm not showing the screen. So yes, so in the GitHub repository, you can find genesis file, and you can find genesis file. And in genesis file, you can find collateral parameters, or you can actually just query params of the current params of the network and find the same. So initially, it was set to really low number because we wanted it to be miners' community decisions of what is the right collateral to have. So what it means that if nothing changes, if we all will not vote for a different value, this collateral will be really tiny and will not affect much of where we are right now. But at the same time, I want to spend some time to explain everyone what logic is behind collateral, why we believe it's important, and why we believe that eventually we need to get to the level which was described in the original tokenomic, which is around like 100 JNKs per H100. So, but first, I want everyone to understand that everyone relaxes. So it was set for purpose. It was set for a low number, so that we all can decide together what is right, and it won't be disruptive when it just will turn on. So it still will require some action from you. It still will require you to transfer this collateral. But if nothing will change, if we will not vote together for different levels, it will be really a tiny amount, and it was set in Genesis. You all can trace it. You all can see what is the current parameters of the network. So then, why collateral is needed, and why we described it at the level of 100 JNK per H100. In general, collateral serves us from two different perspectives. First, collateral is a great tool for protecting us from DDoS, and this is an important part of the collateral. If we will not put it on a level which will be sufficient, it will not work in this way, because even though we wanted this network to be easily available for everyone can join, but at the same time, we've seen all the challenges through the latest 2 months, when there is no way to filter where someone just trying to attack the network and just trying to harm other miners to gain more results for themselves, for the attackers. And collateral was designed as one of the principles so that it won't be as easy to enter to POC with hundreds of thousands of smaller participants. And we need to have this mechanism in place. Otherwise, the network is vulnerable to that. We actually thought that the network will be by 180 days, the network will be much smaller than it is right now. It's like this community exceeded all our expectations. That's why we thought that we will have this, as a community, will have this time of 180 days, and it would be safe during this 180 days. But we saw that the network grew much faster, and with this growth, the attack schemes as well. So we always should be careful with such mechanism, and this mechanism are part of the protocols which are needed for us to have this protection. So I will, in any case, encourage the community to discuss to put it still higher than what it is right now. Still, it's a debate what is the right number, but still higher than it is right now. Otherwise, it will not work as a protection. And we will need to all discuss other ways to protect in terms of having a barrier to enter POC so that it won't be it won't be as easy to attack the network from this vector. Second reason of collateral, which is not less important, I would say that's even more important, is collateral. We've seen how it worked in the past for different projects, namely Filecoin. And it worked really beautifully in terms of accumulating supply and reinvesting supply back to the network itself. And this works really well for increasing the value of the coins. So in proof of stake networks, it works through staking. Yes, so you collect all the available coins into stakes in this balance the supply demand of the coins of the network. Because we're proof of work network, there is no mechanism such staking, but an alternative for that is the collateral. And if you look at this from this perspective, we don't need to have high collateral right now. We need to set it so that expectation in the future that this will be a significant portion of supply. Let me explain what I mean. So if we will today, for example, set collateral to 100 JNK, with the current amount of power in the network, it will be just together. It will be just 700,000 JNK, which is a tiny portion of the vested available supply. So it seems that it will not really work today on from this perspective of accumulating the vested liquid supply back to the network. But this collateral is designed for the market to look not from the perspective of where the project is today, but what if this project will reach million GPUs in the network? So if the project reaches this million GPUs in the network, this collateral, total amount of collateral will be much higher than today. And it will require almost all available coins to be put back into the collateral. So what it does, it creates expectations already today, even though today 100 JNK per H100 is just 3 days of the rewards which you get. So it's really low number compared to where it will be when Gonka will have million GPUs in the network. Because when it will reach million GPUs in the network, it will be 300. So the value of coin will grow with the amount of hardware in the network, and eventually the collateral will be almost a year of the rewards which you would get from the GPUs. So today it's tiny, but in this bright future, it will be pretty high. But even today, it will affect the market. Even today, it will affect the supply and demand, because everyone who believes in this project long term will realize that it is important to keep some of the coins, so that because these coins will allow you to mine not only today, but it will allow you to mine when the network will be so successful. So this is the design. So this collateral is designed to be really not big of a deal today. It won't affect much your earnings. It will not require you to put too much capital in the collateral, but it should create the expectation about this future. What if if the network will have million GPUs? What if the network will have 10 million GPUs? In this case, this would be a really powerful tool to balance out supply and demand of the coins in the network. So that's what it's designed to be. If we will not together, if we will not put it on the right level, collateral will not have effect like that. Collateral will not affect in a positive way, will not affect the price of the coin. So it will not affect your all earnings. So it is a hard decision to make. It's kind of this famous experiment when you offered like two candies in a week, or one candy today. So it's similar. So it requires you to think long term. It's as if it's something is taken from you. Yes, it requires the collateral from you, but actually it designed to increase the value of every coin you earn through the rewards. So we really encourage, and in this AMA, it's only start of the discussion, because we don't offer and will not support setting the even 100 JNK collateral today. But we want this to start this discussion with the community of like to how we can get there, like what is the right timing, like to get there, and whether it's the right thing to do to get there. So imagine that we can get there in a month from now, or in 2 months from now, because it's really better idea to send this collateral to 100 JNK per H100 today, because we need to all together to test it out, like to test it what is the right slashing, because we all experience when someone attacked during DDoS attacks, you lose reward. We all experience that. So step-by-step, miners learn how to protect their servers from such attacks. We all need to ensure that all of us educated on how to do that before the rules will become stricter. So we wouldn't encourage anyone to propose today to set it to 100 JNK. At the same time, if we will not set it at least at some level, like 1 JNK or 10 JNK today, we will not have the DDoS protection, which this mechanism also was designed for. So we still encourage the community to discuss first setting it to a lower number, like less than the day of the reward which miner will get. Then see through like a month of activity or 2 months of activity, see that everything is actually works, that this mechanism is work as designed, that the slashing is not too high. Maybe we all should vote to decrease the parameters of slashing for different type of failures, like failure for consensus, failure for downtime. It's all like we all need to see how it works, and then vote again to increase it on the level which we all believe is right. And there is no right answer what is right or what is wrong. Like with higher collateral, we all will like even positively affect the price of the coin. But at the same time, if collateral will be too restrictive, it will limit the growth, and if it limits the growth, we less likely will get to this million GPU. So it definitely should be a balanced number, and it's definitely when we set it to the genesis, we didn't thought that it's right for us to set what is the right level. That's why we set it really low in genesis. So if the community will not make the decision to set it higher, it will be still with at this low level, and it will not affect anyone in terms of requiring to invest significant capital. But at the same time, we will not have any protection of POC, and it's likely will have negative effect eventually, and we will not have the opportunity to use this mechanism to balance the supply and demand of the coins long term. So I really encourage this discussion to happen in Discord. Please put your opinion out there. Tell what you think is right, whether you think that it should be 0, or whether you think it should start low but then gradually grow, or whether you think that it is like a right thing to do to as soon as fast to get to 100 JNK, or maybe you think that it should be even higher. I personally don't think that it should be higher, because still you need to think about this mechanism not from perspective of what is the collateral today, but like what would be the collateral when it will be million GPU, like 10 million GPUs. So when the network already successful enough to sustain higher collateral, but even expectation of that will affect the price today. So I'm not sure whether we have any questions in Discord. Victor, if you see some questions.
I'm looking at them. Not to the topic of the discussion. There are several questions that we will ask at the end that are more general. But yeah, thank you very much, David. Consensus is essential. And as David mentioned, we do need to talk about this because there are no overlords and all of the governance is happening via communication between the users.
And it's definitely something which affects miners a lot. I just want every miner to think about it, because there will be a negative effect, will be a positive effect. You should think about both of them at the same time, and try to compare this with each other. If this community will not vote for the change, no one will be affected. You still be careful. You still will need to apply this this collateral to your participant, but this collateral will be just a couple hundred nanogonkas, which is like nothing. But I still really encourage the discussion that the collateral is really great mechanism. We all don't know what is the right level, and definitely we should start with really low level so that we all see how the slashing affects all of us, to make sure that some honest participants are not affected in a negative way. And then we all need to have the path of setting the right level, which will be balanced between the negative consequences of the collateral and the positive consequences of the collateral.
Thank you. Gleb, do you have anything that you can add? Also, guys in the chat, can you hear me now? I risked it and I turned my mic in 2 places.
Yeah, about collateral, I would only add that, yeah, it might also affect a bit our deploy pipeline, because, for example, right now we didn't have any negative effect for jailing of nodes. With collateral, we will have, and this transfer period also to address such issues.
There are cases where jailing is actually means someone was offline in the network should pioneer such behavior. But at the same time, currently, for example, during the upgrades, some people are jailed because it requires some time to upgrade the nodes, and so we all together we need to get through all these edge cases and make sure that these edge cases are properly managed by the network, so that really honest nodes which haven't done anything wrong shouldn't be negatively affected. But without really having these mechanisms turned on in the production, it's really hard to find all these edge cases. So we'll have to find them all together.
If there's no another question about collateral, we probably can respond to a couple earlier one in chat.
I don't know. I got a lot of messages about about the collateral. It's either everyone are super happy that the Genesis settings are so low, so that it won't be disruption. So that's why no one has a question, or people are somehow shy and don't ask their questions in Discord. Please do. But in parallel, we can just skip to other questions as well.
One of them, why we are not able to get back to small LLMs? What is the problem with them? So I would say David already started to talk about this today earlier, but the general problem is that in POC version 1, it was small model, it was universal, it was really simple to deploy, and it really didn't allow a lot of security during POC. But POC version 2 now, it kind of works in another way, and one of the opportunity which David mentioned we have right now is to actually, based on this, we can build approach to support smaller models on the chain. So I don't think it will be only LLMs, because for LLMs, it's clear that bigger model are best. But for example, for embedding processing, for image processing, we will have to support smaller model. That's definitely one of our big thing for next months is to start supporting more models, different size models. And yeah, and related to this, about the IMI K2.5, the important path which I see that we should choose now is to support not only one model as we are doing now, but to support different models, and to adjust our POC, to adjust how our system work, to that it will allow to have different models in parallel, different POCs in parallel, and weights will be from all these models. So essentially, if we will carefully make all steps to this, it will allow to get back to using another hardware, which right now cannot join the network. But with POC version 2, we kind of have a path to get back to wider range of different hardware chain.
Yeah. So the switch just paved the way. It still will require a lot of effort from the community to make it happen. What you will see first is this enablement of multiple models, and you will see that it will be trickier. It will be a little bit harder on the miner side in terms of management. But as soon as you will see that, you will see that we actually are step by step going in the right direction in terms of enabling the smaller models. Another thing which you will see is that through the same process, this process allow to do inference and POC at the same time.
We actually don't really need the POC phase. POC can be just any time when there is no so much of load with inference, it will be POC, and yeah, and essentially
it would be like kind of it just would be really hard to implement right away all of these qualities. But the POC version 2 just gave us an opportunity to make it. So first you will see multiple models, then you will see that the POC and inference is happening at the same time. For example, preserved nodes will be eliminated. All news that there are some challenges with preserved nodes, the kind of absolute mechanism. But when we can do POC inference at the same time, it's not needed. But as soon as we can do POC and inference at the same time, the POC itself will be more spread out in terms of when it happens. And when it's there, then we can add smaller models, because the main issue with smaller models that they don't provide the security. Like, it's really hard to utilize 7,000 GPUs with a small model. You have like thousands and thousands of requests to utilize the GPUs, but really the ability to utilize GPU is a really important security measure. But as soon as this merge of inference and POC will happen, in this case, it will be much easier to utilize the entirety of the GPU which run in smaller models, and this will kind of allow us to enable them as well. So you will see this progress step by step. I kind of try to describe what you will see is a change in the network, which will enable that. But for sure, it will be in like voice-to-voice models. They're relatively small. Like most of these models, they're relatively small. But we have a bunch of developers who reached out our community saying like, can we use the voice-to-voice model? So we definitely want to be there, but technically it's a challenging. Like the amount of technologies which should be implemented are pretty high to get there. But the positive news is just with POC version 2, at least we don't see any unknowns already. Like, it's quite clear how we can get there.
And what is also important, that for such small models, the small GPUs will be actually quite effective and quite good, and it will be really kind of the right way to use them. I'm pretty happy about it. I would also add that so there is this path which we are describing now, but also it will be a lot of new kind of terms, new approaches which will have to be introduced, and they are sometimes not only technical but new concepts, like we are discussing now delegation of POC votes or something like that as one of the options to simplify process. And that topics also should be discussed by community and should be carefully reviewed, because it really useful, but it affects miners quite a lot, and we should brainstorm such idea altogether, because they're pretty important from different sides.
Yeah, we likely will discuss it in separate AMAs, not to overload, but for sure, this some of the qualities of the network, they will require the discussion, because it will require attention of the miners for sure.
I would also highlight so about milestones more for like nearest future. So about off-chain stuff and getting back to numbers. So we already see that during the POC, before the POC version 2 and off-chain proofs, we had like almost fully occupied chain, like 3,000 transactions per block during POC phase, and it was not really scalable. Now we can see that during POC, it's already about 100 transactions per, which is kind of low, and there's no issue at all. As David said, we also going to move in all another stuff off chain. And yeah, inference is quite important. We should not have one transaction per each inference on chain. And I think that's also one of the biggest milestone, because that's what will allow to utilize this hardware. Because yeah, another problem with small LLMs and small GPUs that this 7,000 H100, you would not be able to record even small portion of inferences from this GPU on chain. I mean, even only billing. So they're moving all inference metadata off chain. It's kind of must be there really soon, and that's a big milestone, and we should all keep it in mind, like something which will allow the full utilization of GPU. And it seems like the path there is also becoming clearer. Yeah, I hope we will see some first step and future upgrades.
Thank you. If I might, I see here a very interesting question from the user named Konstantin. If developers have to pay for an API usage in Gonka and the token price increases, won't the API request become more expensive over the time as well?
Yeah, so in general, first, let's get to the state. So meaning that for the tokenomics of these projects were designed in the way, so for foreseeable future, we will not experience that. It's by design, because in general, miners get significant reward from the network every day. Yes, after 4 years or after 8 years, when we have halving and another halving, it will be, this reward will play less and less of the role, but still, in foreseeable future, in the coming years, this reward will be a lot, and it will, like currently, miners can profitably mine even like without any reward from developers. And this is still like it's by design. This is the beauty of the blockchain tokenomics, and that's what allows this infrastructure to grow and at the same time provide really inexpensive access for developers. And with the idea that it's not just subsidy, but this network is destined to kickstart this hardware revolution process with ASICs, which will decrease significantly the cost of mining, the cost of AI inference, and this will rebalance the tokenomics, so that it's not like developers are paying less right now, but will be paying more in the future. But actually, they will pay even less in the future because of the hardware revolution, which is destined to happen in this field. So from this perspective, if it will work by design, we cannot be sure. Like no one can predict how markets works in what will be the process of that. Because if the API price will be even at the level which you would experience it right now with centralized players, it would mean that the miners have twice X revenue from the systems that they can get anywhere in the market, which would mean that more miners will join, and which will mean that the price for API should drop down. So still, like by design, it might happen at short term. It sounds like day in the future, but in general, market forces should push it down. The API price should be lower than the market price, because eventually miners get the rewards and they get fees, and together they should be at the real cost of the market price. Otherwise, why other miners will not join? More miners will join. So still, like by design, it might happen at some like short period of time, but in general, it shouldn't happen in the next like 8 years. So when we actually truly believe that ASICs will be already the majority of the compute in the network. So, but we all will see. Like, it's hard to really predict. This is a design, but whether it will work by design or not, we all should experience. But if the design is right, and when we only started this network, you see, like, the tokenomic version 2 was introduced in GitHub just a month before mainnet, because there was this really hard discussion between everyone involved in the project is whether the reward should be like in Bitcoin when it's disconnected from the fees, or it should be multiplier on the fees paid by developers. And it was, I should say, it was really hard discussions where there were a lot of arguments on both sides. But eventual belief, which it was implemented in tokenomics version 2 in July last year, before mainnet was launched, was this intuition that this should be decoupled, and that the miner should get reward independently of utilization. And as we all see, the 5th month after the mainnet launch, that it worked beautifully. Like, we were all able to build infrastructure which is several times larger than any decentralized project before us. So still, like, it required a little bit of belief, because you design such systems, but you never can predict how they eventually will play out. But based on the experience of Bitcoin, it worked pretty great. Based on the experience of the successful crypto project, it worked pretty great. So from this perspective, we just realized, like, in Ethereum, the same. Like, your block reward is separate from the fees. The fees actually burned in Ethereum, which is really interesting concept. So the miners, the stakers, they don't earn the fees, they just burn. It just creates deflationary pressure on the coin in the market. So this idea that this should be disconnected, by disconnecting, you actually driving the costs for transfers, or for smart contracts, or in our case for inference down, is maybe a little bit counterintuitive. But if you will kind of try to spend time with these formulas, you maybe will get to the same conclusion as us, that this mechanism works really beautiful, and it actually will allow this price to be always much lower than the market price. And if it's the case, it's a beauty. Like we all right now use like other different type of agents, like for coding or for different stuff with OpenClaw or with Cursor, any agents which you use. But you probably all experience the bill which you get every day or every month, which is like really high. And if we will be able to convince the world that this network is safe and stable, and for that we all need to work hard to make sure that it's stable, that we make sure that it's always available for developers. If we will be able all to ensure that this is true, the potential is unlimited, because all of these people who buy Mac Minis today, they actually should switch to Gonka and have much greater experience, much cheaper, with the best available open weight models out there. So still, we all will see how it will unravel. If the market price of API will actually go so high as you think that it can, it means that for miners it will be a really profitable adventure, like way profitable than any other way to utilize the GPUs. But we actually think that block reward with the growth of GPUs, will net really good return for miners, even without any need to set the API price high. But we need to see, like with the current level of utilization, the price is so low, so that it's even not a question that the Gonka is the best solution for anyone who wants to use agents.
Gleb, do you have anything to add, or can you both hear me now? Because I tried to change my microphone at least 5 times now.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. That's at least you. That's most important. My voice will appear tomorrow on the video recording that will be published, nonetheless. I believe that you answered the question of Konstantin pretty well. And Gleb, do you see anything that you would like to address yourself right now, as we're coming closer to the end of the session right now?
No, I think we addressed most questions.
I would say so as well. At least those that were rather practical or focused on the precise topics, I think that they were all reflected. Nonetheless, more questions is always better to have. And I believe that the next week we can expect another AMA session. As David said, it's better to have more of them. So I would make sure that this time I would collect more questions prior to the session, since it's always better to touch the base with the community, and we already did it a few weeks ago, and it proved itself to be extremely successful. We do not have a roadmap, Mitch. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. One of the subjects which I really want to discuss on the next session, and this is a little bit related to what Gleb mentioned. The changes we all should make, they not always about the tech itself, but it's also about behavior of the participants in the network. And one change which seems to inevitably will have to happen, but still it's a discussion which we all should have, is that we need to make sure that everyone participates in voting around proposals. Yes, there should be quite a significant barrier to create a proposal. It should be quite an expensive operation to have, but we need everyone to participate in these voting processes, especially because this voting won't be only about the upgrades. This voting will be about adding new models or things like that. And this network should be able to evolve with the development of AI market. So, and what we see is that if there is no punishment or reward, people don't participate. And this is unfortunate. So some people still participate. Some people, and I'm really grateful for everyone who participate in every vote for proposals in the network. It's really important, but many of us don't. So one of the change which likely we would want to introduce is that likely if you don't participate in voting, likely you will, like, some of your rewards will be lost. So that it's like it's really easy and cheap to participate. Like everyone can participate, but we need to ensure that everyone who really believes in this project participate in voting. What I encourage the community to think is, yes, the maybe community need to create tools for themselves to kind of notify about the votes and things like that. So for sure, so that no one skip the recent proposal which was introduced for voting. But you all should know that this is likely at least we put a lot of we will put our reputation efforts so to make sure that this change is out there, because all of us should participate. It is important. Every decision which is made affects the network. So you cannot so if some just skip the votes, hoping for others to make their due diligence and make their work, it doesn't work. So similarly, like when you don't participate in consensus votes, your notes should be punished. The same way, if you don't participate in voting for proposals, likely those participants should be punished. We likely will discuss it on next AMAs, but if you have any thought on that beforehand, please explain your position in Discord. Because it's definitely, if you have a good argument why it's a bad idea, let's have this argument. But what we see is that without rewards or punishment, it's really hard to ensure that everyone participate, and voting for proposals is really important part of this project. So let's discuss next time.
And one last thing, last but not least, Gleb would like to add some pretty amazing news to the end of this session, and I'm very happy that he decided to do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that much news. It's more like answer to some comments about roadmap. So yeah, as you said a couple times today, there's no like real roadmap because it should be community-driven roadmap. But what we are trying to push a little bit now, and at least do it when we proposing something, we are writing proposal in repo with detailed explanation what is proposal adding. So there is such proposal for different topics. In some branches, it's proposal about trusted execution environment, multi-model, so different things. And that's all ideas like how chain can change in the future. And it would be great for us to organize also some new types of meetings like this AMA, Ask Me Anything, but more about discussion of proposals. Like Bitcoin has their Bitcoin approval proposals and they discuss ideas there. In the same way, I think we should make the meeting when we discuss existing proposal. It should be not like only proposals from us, but proposal from everyone. And some proposals can be rejected. Some proposals can be just like, oh, does it worth to spend time on this? But we should at least start to make such sessions when we all will discuss, and not only our proposals, but proposals from another participant too, other miners too. And it can be our tool to build community roadmap and how to build like vision how chain will look like.
I can see that people already started to drop out. And is there anything you would like to address at this point, or we can wrap it up for this day?
That's right, Bob.
In that case, I will just mention that, yes, I know that you only see me now, but tomorrow you also will be able to hear me as well, all of the people in the community. And the video will be appearing in the library channel as usual. Thank you.